This segment of Coast Life is sponsored by the Parker Group.
Homeownership always something that is a big deal for people, and there's always people moving out to the coast or trying to find the next new place. With all that in mind, we've got Rachel Parker with us today from the Parker Group. And Rachel, we always want to run through kind of what the hot moment in realty is with you guys. Yeah. And right now it seems like getting ready for the spring rush, that's always a big deal.
Yes, absolutely. And so I think we're all getting those little glimpses of the spring weather, and it gets everyone really excited.
I hope we're getting those glimpses.
Absolutely, yes. I think we're all excited for that. But one of the big things that people like to think about this time of the year, I mean, we think of like colorful flowers, is what color to paint your house.
Yes.
And it's always fun because every year, you know, we have places come out with the color of the year.
New trends, new things.
Yeah, and then there's also just like trends in paint colors in general. So I thought it'd be a fun time to kind of talk about what are the top 3 trends that we're seeing in paint colors for that homeowner that's trying to freshen up before they put the house on the market.
So what are you seeing? Where is it going? Are they 3 vastly different colors that are trending? Are they kind of in the same ballpark?
That's a great question. So really the overarching theme that we're seeing is more warm, natural kind of tones. And so like Pantone's color of the year, for instance, the #1 trend that we're seing is called Mocha Mousse, which is exactly what you would think of, kind of like a coffee tone.
I can almost see it in my head.
Or taste it even, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so a lot of like coffee tones, terracotta tones is the first trend that we're seeing. It's just things that are in that, like, think of a coffee shop vibe.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the second one, which is actually kind of surprising to me, personally, it's not a color that I use in my house, but it's really deep, rich reds, actually.
Okay, and I've seen that in some places, so I know what you're talking about here.
Yeah, and it can be a tricky one, I think, because when people think that, they might think like stop sign red, but that's not what it is. It's really deep ruby red, so it still feels warm and earthy, but it's in that red category.
Are you seeing this as whole rooms, or are you seeing it as accent walls? What are you seeing?
A little bit of both, but it can even be furniture too.
Okay.
And so like with this one, when you're going really bold like that, you can go accent wall, you can go furniture, but I have seen examples of people making like really cool, think like a study or an office in like this really rich red color, lots of books on the walls, like
I can smell the rich
furniture.
mahogany.
Exactly, exactly. Like you're picturing a cigar and a glass of bourbon with it or something. But that kind of a vibe is the second one that we're seeing.
And where do we go for #3?
So #3 is kind of like, if you think traditionally cooler tones, we're seeing actually warmer versions of that. So think like olive greens, or think like blues that have a little bit of a warmth to them. So
I kind of like that one.
Yeah, it's very tranquil. I think for us being on the coast, it's nice because it feels like nature and the ocean and all of that, but they're not stark. Like, so what we're moving away from is the stark white, the gray, the very like sterile kind of tones, and then even our blues now, it's almost like a muted version of this couch. Okay. It's a blue that has some green in it, but it's again calming and just kind of a nice shade.
Well, and I've noticed that you said moving away from some of the whites and the grays.
Yeah.
When you look at new homes or you go online, it is something, those colors you see a lot. It's interesting that there's starting to be a shift, and there always is. Trends are trends for a reason.
Exactly. And so like I'm guilty of this. We built our house 5 years ago, and my husband says like, I'm so tired of white, because almost every wall in our house is white. And at that time it was the light and the bright and the airy, so white with black accents. And now it's kind of moving more towards something more comforting and warm and intimate.
So if folks are trying to maybe get a place ready for a sale, is this the time to be doing it before we get fully into that run of the selling season?
This is really the perfect time of the year, because once the weather gets warm, that's really when the market picks up. Honestly, this year it's already started to pick up a little bit, but you don't want to be in the midst of a renovation project when you're rushing to actually get the home on the market. So now is a great time. And also, we always recommend to people, don't go crazy. Like, don't be like, oh, I heard 3 colors, every room has to be like 3 different colors or anything like that. But picking like a nice neutral maybe that fits in your whole house would be a great way to freshen up before putting it on the market.
Yeah, we don't want plaid walls or anything like that. That's gonna, just because you might like it personally, we don't want you to go too crazy if it's a house you're about to put on the market.
Exactly.
You know, we want to keep it reasonable so that anybody might be able to like it.
They want to picture themselves in the house.
Yes.
Exactly, yes.
Well, is there anything else you wanted to add today?
No, that's really it. If anyone does have any questions, though, I mean, if you're getting ready to put your house on the market and you're like, should I do this? Should I do that? We're always happy to answer specific questions for different specific cases. And so people can reach out to us. It's just hello@theparkergroup.com, or call our phone. It's 302-217-6692.
hello@theparkergroup.com. Easy to remember, and if you're going to be trying to put your house out there, they've got all kinds of tips, all kinds of tricks. They're very, very helpful. You want to get in touch with them. We're going to have more Coast Life coming up right after the break.